I'm Beverly Hosford. This is Andy. It's my favorite time of year. The snow is about to start falling and it's time to get out there in nature and ski down the slopes. This is my favorite sport of all time, skiing, and I'm going to help you get ready for the season by going over the 8 prime movers in downhill or alpine skiing that were identified by the USSA, and I'll also talk a little bit about exercises. You want to get out your anatomy book if you want to review the origins and insertions. I'll go over them on Andy and show you how to find them on yourself. The 8 prime movers that are involved in downhill or alpine skiing were identified by EMG studies, and they primarily work in an eccentric function. So they work, because you're in a squat position a lot while you're going down the hill, they work to just hold the joints together and stabilize, as opposed to concentric contraction, which is when they're shortening. So eccentric means they're lengthened. The 8 prime movers are the adductor longus, the rectus femoris, the vastus intermedius, the gluteus medius, the gluteus maximus, the semimembranosus, the biceps femoris, and the peroneus longus. I'll go over the attachments in a little more detail for those of you that are interested. The adductor longus attaches to the pubic tubercle, and it comes around to the posterior side of the femur on the linea aspera. The rectus femoris attaches to the AIIS, anterior inferior iliac spine. It comes down, it also touches the acetabulum. It comes down into the patellar tendon, which crosses the patella, the kneecap, and goes into the tibial tuberosity. The vastus intermedius attaches to the anterior superior femur, right around the gluteal tuberosity, and comes down to the same patellar tendon and tibial tuberosity. Then down here we have the peroneus longus, which attaches to the, whoops, we lost some muscles, we'll get them back. The peroneus longus attaches to the superior fibula on the lateral side, and it comes down, wraps under your foot to your first metatarsal, the base of it, and your medial cuneiform. Let me just reattach these hamstrings. So when we look at the posterior side, we have the gluteus medius attaching on the lateral iliac crest and into the top of the greater trochanter. The gluteus maximus attaches to the iliac crest, the sacrum, the coccyx, and it comes around to the gluteal tuberosity, and it attaches into the IT band, the iliotibial band, which is actually just a really big tendon, and you can go and see my video about the IT band if you want to learn more about it. And then the hamstrings, the semimembranosus and biceps femoris. So the biceps femoris is your lateral hamstring, meaning it's more towards the outside. It attaches to the superior fibula. And the semimembranosus attaches to the, it's a medial hamstring, it attaches to the top of the tibia on the tibial plateau here on the medial side. So you've got the 2 hamstrings, one going lateral, one going medial. As far as finding these on your own body, if you find your hip bones, you can palpate the ASIS, which is the most bony part, come down to the AIIS where your rectus femoris attaches, and then just below that is the top of your femur where your vastus intermedius attaches. So those 2 spots are where your rectus femoris and vastus intermedius attach, and they both come down and cross the knee joint. Your gluteus medius attaches on the ridge of your ilium, so if you find the top of your hip bone, you can follow the ridge along, and that comes down into the greater trochanter. So if you find that bone on the side of your hip and rotate it, that's your trochanter. Come to the top, that's your gluteus medius. Your gluteus maximus comes around the PSIS, the posterior superior iliac spine, and down into the sacrum and the coccyx, and it comes around into the posterior side of the trochanter. If you rotate, you can find it. Into the IT band tendon, which runs all the way down, crosses into your fibula. And then your hamstrings are attaching on your ischial tuberosity, on your sit bone, and your biceps femoris comes down to the head of the fibula, and your semimembranosus comes down to the head of the tibia. So they come down and split. And then your peroneus longus attaches to that superior fibula. It comes down, wraps under your foot, and it attaches to the base of the first metatarsal and the medial cuneiform. How about that? So those are the prime movers used when skiing, and more ski coaches are working on isolating those muscles in their training programs. So if you're going to be working with skiers this season, or you're a skier yourself, you want to isolate those muscles. There's so many exercises you can do to isolate them, but let me show you 2 of my favorites. One is using a handy band. You can put it around your ankles. You can buy these for just a few bucks. And to work on the gluteus medius muscle, which is in the lateral hip, you can stand up tall. And I like to work on lifting one leg and holding it. Because when you're skiing, you're holding an isometric contraction a lot of the time. You're not going up and down a lot. So working on holding can be really great. You can also slide the band up around your knees and work on holding a squat just like that. So you can hit that gluteus medius while you're in the squat, very sport specific. Now if you want to take it a step further, you can do your abduction exercise, but externally rotate or internally rotate your femur while you're doing it. Because as you can see, the gluteus medius has 3 attachments. So you want to work the anterior, medial, and posterior attachments by rotating your femur. And you can also do this laying on the ground on your side. So that's a great way to use the band. You can also use the Bosu ball, turning it over and standing on it. Being very careful. I like to do my ski training barefoot because it strengthens the ankles and feet for balance, but you can do your squats on the Bosu ball. You can also put one hand on the inside of the thigh, one hand on the outside of the thigh while you squat to mimic the knees, how they go back and forth when you're skiing. So you can push medial and lateral to get your adductor longus, and then your glutes working on the outside leg. And of course you can turn the Bosu ball over and use it the other way. There's lots of exercises you can do. I'm wondering what your favorite ski exercise is. If you like this video, go down and like it, and leave a comment below about your favorite ski exercise. What gives you the best benefit? Our community would love to hear from you. And please share this video with any other skiers or people that are getting ready for the season. Thanks for joining us today.